Welcome to the Wellness Home. This is Class 6, and I'm Dr. Dave Harper, your wellness coach and creator of Mosaic Wellness University. So why do I do this? Why do I do Mosaic Wellness University? Why do I teach people about lifestyle? It's very simple. Lifestyle is probably the number one cause of all chronic illness and disease. How you live your life, how much value you give to your life, will determine how well your life treats you. I'm also a chiropractor, and I understand and know that we live our lives through our nervous system. For those of you who are new to this Mosaic Wellness University program, this may be new information, but for those who are patients in the office who already know that this is what I do, you'll know that subluxations are interferences to that nervous system's ability to cope and adapt to the environment. You see, here's the reality. Chronic illness and disease and early demise is nothing more than the body's natural and logical outcome from being exposed to an environment that it cannot cope with. So you have only one of two choices. You either can manage your environment, or you can improve your body's ability to cope and adapt, or armor up. Sometimes both are necessary. The interferences that challenge our nervous system and cause it to be burdened with overwhelming stress come from three main sources: physical stress, mental stress, and chemical stress. So tonight's class deals with chemical stress. According to health studies, Canadians spend about 90% of their life indoors. If you subtract the 8 hours or so that we work outside the home and factor in weekends, we spend about 60 to 80% of our life in our home. Your home is an environment that influences your health and wellness. The choices you make about your home either enhance your health or can literally make you sick and cause disease. There is a lot of emphasis today about making our home green, which may have an impact on the planet by conserving energy sources and natural resources as well as lowering pollution. So what we're going to be talking about today is how to make your home a home that promotes your wellness and lowers the toxic pollution that is contributing to your overall body burden. Here's an elevation of a home in a blueprint. It can be any home. It's not my home, but it could be any home. Because it is estimated that over 90% of our lives in North Americans is lived inside, and 2/3 of that time is spent in our home. The relative wellness of our home will determine how healthy we are. So tonight we want to explore some ways that we can create a healthier environment both inside and outside our home. So how healthy is your home? I'm going to do a little health survey. And I want you to think about these questions that I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask them to you fairly quickly because there's a lot of them. If you need to stop and pause the presentation, then do so. But I'm going to ask you to consider these questions. Do you use strong chemicals in your home like disinfectants, bleaches, oven cleaners, drain cleaners, furniture polish, floor waxes, window cleaners, or all-purpose cleaners? Do you use pesticides and weed killers in your yard? Well, it's illegal to do that in Ontario right now. Do you have a monthly pest control service that comes to your home? Do you have dust, mildew, or mold in your home? Do you use an air freshening sprays, candles, or room fresheners? Are nail polishes, perfumes, or hairsprays, or other cosmetics used in the home daily? Do you use an air purification system in the house? Or what about a water filtration system? Do you have pets in the home? Do you use shampoos and conditioners? What about lipstick? Do you dry clean your clothes? Do you barbecue at home often? Does your home have a lot of carpeting? What about an electric blanket? Do you use that frequently? Or natural cosmetics? Do you use tap water for drinking and cooking? These are questions that should cause some reflection about whether or not you're using things in your home that are contributing to the toxicity in your home that you live in. So a 15-year Canadian study was done, and it found that women who work at home have a 54% higher death rate from cancer than those who work outside the home. The study concluded that this is a direct result of the increased exposure to toxic chemicals, many of which are found in common household products. Look, most of our grandparents used only two things for the house, vinegar and water. But since we've entered the chemical age, the number of toxic chemicals used today in all types of products has reached between 85,000 and 100,000. And none of these chemicals is natural to our body, and the exposure and accumulation of them in our bodies can destroy our health. So let's move through our home and look at ways we can improve the health of your home. So how do toxins enter the body? Putting chemicals on your skin or scalp may actually be worse than eating them. When you eat something, the enzymes in your saliva and stomach help to break it down and flush it out of your body. However, when you put these chemicals on your skin, they absorb straight into your bloodstream without filtering of any kind, and they go directly to your delicate organs. Once these chemicals find their way into your body, they tend to accumulate over time because they typically lack the necessary enzymes to break them down. We think of our skin as impenetrable. However, the skin isn't impenetrable. It is able to absorb much more than when it comes in contact with. We all know this because every one of you knows someone who has the patch to quit smoking or puts hormones in the body. The skin does absorb what you put on it. So why is this so dangerous? It's dangerous because there are over 80,000 different toxic chemicals that have been developed and have entered our environment since the World War II. About 1,000 new chemicals are added each year, and about 900 of these are toxic. Many of the same poisons that pollute your environment are also lurking in the jars and bottles that line your bathroom shelves. We all risk becoming a toxic waste dump from the products we use, the foods we eat, and the environment in which we live. Let's see what we can do tonight to improve our own personal environment. And many would realize that all of the pressure-treated wood playing centers or stations that would be found outside schools or in playgrounds have all been removed because of the potential for young children to absorb the arsenic that was used in the pressure-treated wood to prevent it from being eaten away by termites. One 12-foot 2x4 length of wood has enough arsenic to kill 250 people. So we're going to start in the kitchen, because we spend at least about an hour a day in our kitchen, whether it's to eat breakfast or to have dinner. But that's where we want to start, because there are so many ways we can improve our family's health just in the kitchen, and that's not even including healthy food choices. So there are four major areas of creating a healthy kitchen. They are our water supply and purification, what's under your kitchen sink, microwave cooking, and the types of cookware that we use. So pure drinking water. How much water do you need? There's a video associated with this particular module that will help you understand the differences between good water and bad water as it relates to several different key components or key factors of water and how water is influencing our overall health. But we're made up of 70% water, and our brain is made up of about 75% water. When we become even slightly dehydrated, the first organ that is affected is our brain, which causes fuzzy short-term memory. The most common symptom of dehydration is pain. By the time you have thirst, you are already dehydrated. When I was racing a bike many years ago, we were told that when we were thirsty, we were already a liter down in terms of our body's need and requirement for water and hydration on the bike as we were racing. So here's a simple equation to determine if you're getting at least the minimum amount of water for your body to function normally. Take your body weight in pounds, divide it by 2, and that's the bare minimum amount of water in ounces that your body needs each and every day. So should I drink the tap water? Well, let me tell you that our public water supply is controlled by the Public Works, and it's out of your control. So in my opinion, I do not want to trust anyone to controlling the water. We know that in Walkerton there was that situation where there was some negligence from the Parks and Work Department, and people actually died from contaminated water. But the water that we have that comes from our public supply is chlorinated and fluoridated. So there are things you should know. Modern cities today have chlorinated water supplies, and 75% of all the water supplies in Canada are chlorinated. So should we drink it? Well, what happens when we drink it is that it kills the good bacteria in your colon or large intestine. And when you destroy the healthy bacteria, you encourage the nasty, unhealthy bacteria and parasites to flourish, causing a breeding ground for disease. This is called leaky gut syndrome or dysbiosis. Chlorine also combines with other contaminants in water and creates carcinogens such as THMs or trihalomethanes. In a study of more than 5,000 pregnant women in California, researchers found that women who drank more than 5 glasses of tap water a day that's full of THMs had a 10% higher risk of spontaneous abortion or miscarriage. Studies in Belgium have found a link between drinking chlorinated water and deadly malignant melanoma. So there are lots of studies showing the harmful effects of chlorine in tap water, and here are some facts that make it simple. Living plants do not thrive well in chlorinated water, and when zoo animals switch over to chlorinated water, they begin developing arteriosclerosis or heart disease. If it's not good for plants and animals, it's probably not good for us. But what about fluoride? Fluoride is a serious poison. It's toxic to humans. It causes blindness, a bone-crippling disease that cripples thousands called skeletal fluorosis. It also is an accumulated poison, so even if every little bit that you ingest adds to the rest you have ever ingested. It's a total accumulated effect. In the 1950s, it was added to water supplies throughout the world in an attempt to prevent dental caries or cavities. The problem with that idea is that, and most dentists today agree, ingesting fluoride does not prevent cavities. It appears to be effective only to add fluoride to topical treatments of the tooth or to toothpaste. Just make sure your children aren't swallowing the poison. Tap water may also contain water pipe residue, pesticides, and in cases of at least major cities in North America, drugs including antibiotics, anticonvulsants, mood stabilizers, and sex hormones, because these have all been found in the public water supply because a lot of the pills that we take, and we're the most heavily medicated society in the world, it gets dumped into the sewer system, and that sewer system ends up in the lake, which is where we get our fresh water from after it's been treated. So people take drugs, their body gets rid of the drugs by excreting in the urine and feces, and the drugs end up in the water. So should you drink tap water? The answer is only as a last resort. So what type of water should I drink? What is a good source of pure water? Well, from my research and the things that I have seen, there's only one source that is the best, and that's purified, alkalized Kangen water produced from a Kangen system of water management. This particular system comes straight from Japan. It is not the same as the knockoffs from other countries like China and Taiwan. The Japanese have perfected this system and is made with medical grade titanium and platinum plates that help to ionize and change the quality of the water that makes it more useful for our body and more healthy. The first thing it does is it filters out the chlorine and the fluoride. It has a filter system built into it. You attach this to the sink in your kitchen. We also have it in the clinic, and you can get water from us at the clinic if you wish for a period of time. The water is also alkalized, and we know from Otto Warburg's work back in the early part of the 1920s and 30s when he got the Nobel Prize, he determined that cancer could not survive in an alkaline environment, nor an oxygenated environment. So the acidic nature of how we live our lives, from the foods that we drink and the thoughts that we have, and the metabolic processes that occur in our body tend to shift us towards an acid environment within our body that is promoting of disease. It is an environment that promotes disease, very similar to changing the pH in the pool. If anyone has ever had a backyard pool or worked as a lifeguard, we know that we need to check our pH and check the quality of the water. And we know that when the quality of the pH and the chlorine changes, the quality of the water changes, that the water is more prone to algae. It's not that the algae is dumped into the water and all of a sudden now the algae occurs. It is that the quality of the water changes, which makes the production or the manifestation of the algae more of a reality. The same is true in our body. Because we are made up of 70 to 75% water, it is clear that the quality of that water that we consume then becomes the quality of the water that's found in our bodies. A good source is bottled or purified spring water, and it is only a good source, but there may be health concerns. The worst sources are distilled water, reverse osmosis water, and tap water. Tap water for obvious reasons, but reverse osmosis water or distilled water is devoid of any of the minerals that are necessary to be found in the water. And if we drink the water that has had this removed, then it actually leaches the minerals out of our body, and it's one of the dynamics of how osteoporosis develops. Because what basically happens is that the calcium and the magnesium, we'll talk about this in a minute, but the calcium and the magnesium in the bone becomes the alkalizing buffer for an acidic environment, which then results in this removal of the bone, of calcium from the bone, and then for weakening of the bone. So should water be acid or alkaline? This is one of the major components of what the Kangen system is able to do. Balanced body chemistry is of utmost importance for the maintenance of health and correction of disease. So acidosis, or the overacidity in the body tissues, is one of the basic causes of many diseases. pH is a scale that determines how acid or alkaline a substance is. Water generally has a pH of 7.0 when it comes out of the tap, and that is manipulated by chemicals like lye, so it helps to prevent the pipes from rusting. Since today's modern diet contains so many processed foods which create an acidic condition, and our body is made up of nearly 80% water, our water choices are important. The pH of healthy body tissues is between 7.3 and 7.4, or slightly alkaline. If the pH of our tissues becomes acidic, we enter a disease state, so it is important to know how to keep our system slightly alkaline. We can control that by the quality of water and the quality of food we eat, as well as the minerals we have in our diet. Mineral deficiency results in lower body pH. If your pH of your body is 7.0 to 7.4 alkaline, your body fluids are in a healthy range. A good saliva pH is between 6.6 and 7.4. So green vegetables, fruits, dairy, sugar, these are all sometimes acid producing. What happens when we have an acidic diet? Our body becomes acidic, which forces our body to try to neutralize the acid. It does that by pulling minerals out of our bones, the calcium and the magnesium, to neutralize the acid, as I earlier discussed. Some of you may be having an aha moment right now. Could an acidic system cause enough calcium loss to create osteoporosis? Yes, it can. And that's what we talked about. It's probably the main reason we have so much today. So what about the pH of water? Most waters, tap water included, are around 7.0 or slightly acidic. A lot of the bottled waters are below, sometimes 5.5, sometimes 6.2. What makes water more acidic is when the naturally occurring minerals are removed from the water. To improve our pH, we can make better choices about water, better food choices. And I believe that about 3/4 of our food should be foods that produce a pH of between 7 and 10. But drinking water that's already at a pH of 9.5, the Kangen system is able to produce water to drink between 8.5 pH and 9.5 pH. It also has the ability to produce the same water that is an antioxidant. So the qualities of this Kangen system that I described not only filters the bad, nasty things like chlorine and fluoride out of the water, it gives you the ability to drink a water that is able to better get into your cells. It is microclustered. Microclustering, the best analogy that I can give you to create a visual about microclustering is this. If I have a chain link fence and I throw tennis balls at the fence, only a certain number of 100 tennis balls that I might throw against that fence will actually pass through the openings of that fence. But if I take golf balls and throw them at the same fence, more of those golf balls will actually go through. The golf ball is a micro ball compared to the macro size of the tennis ball or a basketball. So when the water has been microclustered through the process that the Kangen system produces, the water is able to get into the body faster. It's able to hydrate the cells better. And hydrating the cells is one of the critical aspects of determining whether one is healthy or not. So not only, and it's also an antioxidant, so the water actually has the quality of being able to help support the management of free radicals, which is what an antioxidant does. Okay, it came from under the sink. When I mentioned the kitchen sink earlier, I was talking about not what's in your sink, but what's stored underneath your sink. Many of the toxic chemicals that enter your body every day come from under your kitchen sink. So let's talk about what those products are and give you some safe and healthy alternatives. Because 90% of all poisonings in the home are the result of products found under the kitchen sink or bathroom sink. The first thing I want to say about this part of your home is whether you have kids, grandkids, pets, or people visit that have children, keep these cabinets inaccessible if you have to have these chemicals to children and to pets. So top 10 kitchen products. We've got air fresheners that contain formaldehyde and fragrances that can cause cancer. We've got pesticides, that contain life-threatening chemicals that can cause cancer or non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Mold and mildew cleaners that contain VOCs and formaldehyde that can cause cancer. Soaps that contain formaldehyde and SLSs that can cause cancer. Oven cleaners that contain sodium hydroxide ammonia. Severe eye and skin and respiratory damages can result from being exposed to these. Glass cleaners contain ammonia, causing severe eye and respiratory damage. All-purpose cleaners contain ammonia, propylene glycol, and monobutyl acetate. These can cause eye and respiratory damage, kidney and liver damage, cancer, and damage to red blood cells and nerves. Furniture polish contains petroleum distillates that can cause skin and lung cancers. Scouring powders contain chlorine bleach, crystalline silica that can cause cancer and heart disease. And finally, carpet cleaning solvents contain dry cleaning solvent of names I can't even pronounce. Which is a known human carcinogen, so it's a V.O.C. It's called perchloroethylene, which can have immediate central nervous effects causing dizziness, sleepiness, nausea, tremors, and disorientation, as well as long-term central nervous system effects. And the one thing about the Kangen system is that you're able to actually produce a water from this at a 2.5 pH, which is very acidic. And this water that is very acidic can actually be used to clean your countertops. All of the cleansers that you use could be eliminated with the use of this Kangen water generator and management system that produces water at a 2.5 pH. So what are some then other non-toxic chemical solutions? Well, baking soda provides grit for scrubbing. Distilled white vinegar disinfects and breaks up dirt. Hydrogen peroxide will also disinfect. Lemon cuts grease. And by the way, a pH of 11.5 is also available to be produced by this Kangen system. And on the video on the website that you see associated with this particular module, you will see a demonstration in a kitchen where fat-soluble pesticides and fungicides that are on fruits and vegetables are removed with this particular way. This particular formation of water at the 11.5 pH. You see, when they put the pesticides and the fungicides and the herbicides on the fruits and vegetables, they're fat soluble. They're not water soluble. Otherwise, they would wash away every time it rains or they irrigate. And so with this system, you're able to produce a water that you can put your fruits and vegetables in that is able to remove them. It's also available to cut through the fat and the grease as well. So it's able to break down greasy buildup that might be around your stove because of cooking. Olive oil picks up dirt and polishes wood as well. So is the microwave dangerous? Is food damaged by the microwave? It's not the food that is damaged, it's the nutritional value of the food. In a 2003 study, it was found that microwaved broccoli loses up to 97% of its beneficial antioxidants. In a Scandinavian study, the microwaved asparagus causes significant loss in vitamin C. When garlic is microwaved, the anti-cancer chemical alanase is completely destroyed. Microwave breast milk loses all of its lysozyme activities and antibodies. Russian investigators have found that carcinogens are formed from microwaving nearly all foods. So for that reason, microwave ovens have been banned in Russia. Microwaving food is probably not the best choice, unless, of course, the food is nutritionally worthless anyway. So can microwaves cause damage to your body? Well, in a 2009 study at Tufts University, researchers found unequivocal evidence that microwaves produce immediate and dramatic changes in both heart rate and heart rate variability. We also know that exposure to microwaves can also produce cataracts of the eye. At the very least, if you use a microwave oven, do not stand near the oven when it is used. So is a microwave a good way to cook? You've all noticed that microwaving food causes uneven heating. Microwave ovens work at a frequency that only agitates the water molecule. If the liquid in the food is not evenly dispersed in the food, you get hot spots. So is it safe to use plastic in your microwave? One of the worst contaminants in plastic is bisphenol A, or BPA. It is an estrogen-like compound found in plastics, even in plastic dishes that are specifically made for the microwave oven. It causes cancer. When heated, it can leach out of the plastic and then into your food. BPA was found in almost all baby bottles in the U.S. until 2009. Excuse me. When government finally woke up and banned it due to BPA leaching into the baby formula when heated in the microwave. New data on the potential health effects of PBA have emerged, linking high levels of PBA exposure to increased risk of heart disease and diabetes. The compound is also linked to developmental brain effects in infants. BPA is known to mimic the hormone estrogen in the body, which can cause changes in developing fetuses and infants. So what type of plastic is safe in the microwave? If you must use plastics in the microwave, make sure that it is clearly identified as microwave safe, and then pray they were right. A better idea is don't put plastic in the microwave at all, including plastic wraps. Use paper plates or paper towels to cover food. So Andrew Weil, MD, says here, there are many dangers associated with microwaving food. There is a question as to whether microwaving alters protein chemistry in ways that might be harmful. So what pots and pans are safe? There are two critical areas that require scrutiny when it comes to the pots and pans you cook in. Your cooking sets and utensils can seriously affect your health. There are two types of cookware we need to discuss. One is aluminum cookware, and the other is Teflon-coated non-stick cookware. So aluminum cookware is toxic and damages your nervous system. It can cause osteoporosis, Alzheimer's, digestive problems, brain disorders, and kidney and liver failure. Aluminum is found in trace amounts all through nature, however, and when we add large amounts of additional aluminum to our body, the consequences can be devastating. We get large amounts of aluminum from aluminum cookware, antiperspirants, feminine hygiene products, antacid tablets, bleached white flour, unlined aluminum containers such as beer and soda cans, toothpaste, particularly when swallowed, and tap water. Autopsies on people who have died of Alzheimer's disease showed accumulations up to 4 times the normal amount of aluminum in the nerve cells of the brain. A study done by the University of Cincinnati Medical Center showed that using aluminum pots and pans to cook tomatoes doubled the aluminum content in the tomatoes. So what about Teflon? When DuPont Corporation introduced Teflon products, they marketed them as the, quote, the housewife's best friend. Unfortunately, quite the reverse is true. Teflon is one of the biggest mistakes the chemical industry has ever made. Teflon is a non-stick cookware. It is called Stainmaster when used in carpeting and is used in making Gore-Tex fabrics. It is also sold as Silverstone non-stick cookware. Teflon gives off a chemical called ammonium perfluorooctanoate, known as C8, which is linked to cancer and organ damage. Evidence continues to mount that perfluorochemicals, or PFC, emissions from synthetic compounds in non-stick cookware and cleaning products produced by DuPont may cause cancer and other health conditions and problems. In particular, perfluorooctanoate acid, or PFOAs, and perfluorooctane sulfonate, PFOSs, which cannot be broken down by heat, light, or microbes, have been shown to cause tumors in the pancreas, liver, testicles, thyroid, or mammary glands in animal studies. Workers involved in manufacturing PFOAs were also shown to be 3 times as likely to die of prostate cancer as those who weren't. It's interesting to note, too, that they've actually found the residues of PFOAs in the bodies of polar bears. That's how perfluent it is in the whole system of our ecological systems. PFC concentrations have been found in the blood of fish, dolphins, seals, sea lions, minks, and polar bears, gulls, albatrosses, bald eagles, sea turtles, and dozens more species. It's present in the blood of 90 to 95% of all North American residents. In an experiment using a 200-time magnification, researchers scratched a Teflon surface with a metal fork, which resulted in not visible damage. Under magnification, the researchers said it looked like an airline crash there, and you could see bitten pieces of the material that had been scratched away. That is what you are eating when you cook food on any Teflon surface, and that gets scratched. Now these toxic chemicals get into your body with the food you eat. So safe pots and pans for cooking include glass, stainless steel, and cast iron. The healthy bathroom. Let's pretend that we are John or Jane Q. Public and we are starting our typical day. What do? Well, after relieving ourselves, we jump in the shower. First, we wash our hair with shampoo, then conditioner. We dry off, put some lotion on, we spray on deodorant or roll it on antiperspirant. We brush our teeth, finish our hair with a hair gel, mousse, or hairspray. And if you're a woman, you put on makeup, foundation, eyeshadow, eyeliner, blush, and lipstick. As we rush out of the bathroom to grab our protein drink for breakfast, we spritz on some perfume or cologne. I have just described the first 8 or more of the first toxic products in your bathroom. These are the top 12. So shampoos and conditioners contain formaldehyde, hormone disruptors, cancer causers, and possibly encourage hair loss. Body lotions and moisturizers contain polyethylene glycol, TEA, parabens that cause cancer. Powders and powdered sprays contain calc that can cause cancer. Antiperspirants contain aluminum, triclosan that can cause breast cancer, Parkinson's disease, endocrine gland disruptors. Toothpaste contains sodium fluoride, triclosan, SLSs, FD and C colors that can cause cancer, nerve damage, endocrine gland disruptors, mimics estrogen, and it can cause allergies. Hairstyling products contain phthalates, parabens, polyethylene glycol that can cause liver, kidney, lung, and reproductive damage, cancers, allergies, and contact dermatitis. Cosmetics and makeup have talc, parabens, propylene glycol, TEAs, FD and C color, formaldehyde, petroleum distillates that can cause cancer. The kidney, liver, breast, brain can cause leukemia, lymphomas, and allergies. Perfumes and colognes have phthalates and toluene that can cause kidney or liver damage, brain damage, damage to the developing fetus, hormone disruption, and asthma. Antibacterial soaps contain triclosan and triclocarbane that can cause hormone disruption. Sunscreens contain oxybenzone, cinemates, and retinol palmate that are hormone disruptors and increase skin cancer, even when they're trying to screen from the sun. Shaving creams contain TEA, polypropylene glycol, parabens, fragrances, color enhancers that can cause hormone disruption, liver, kidney, and brain damage, as well as damage to the developing fetus, cancer, and asthma. Tub and towel cleaners and toilet bowl cleaners contain ammonia, ethylene glycol, chlorine in a non-reactive form with ammonia. Eye problems, respiratory problems, nerve damage, damage to reproductive systems, and cancers are possible. So to avoid this, ensure that you have ingredients that are non-toxic. Make it a practice to buy certified organic cosmetics, keeping in mind that natural doesn't mean organic when it comes to cosmetics. Number 2, if you do use non-organic cosmetic products, check them out on the Skin Deep Cosmetic Safety Database to ensure they're safe for you and your family to use. They're the databases that you can look for to find out whether or not they're safe or not. So since we spend an average of 90% of our lives indoors in our homes, a healthy indoor environment is more important than ever has been. Studies show that air inside our homes is up 20 to 100 times more polluted than the air outside. With over 80,000 to 100,000 synthetic chemicals in our lives today, our bodies can be in constant struggle with our environment. These chemicals are not only in our kitchens and bathrooms, but everywhere in our homes. Chemicals outgas from our furnishings, window treatments, flooring, even the very materials that our homes are made of. It is a sad reality that children, especially toddlers, are more susceptible to the adverse effects of the toxins caused by the bevy of chemicals used surrounding us in our homes. There are few areas inside our home that we need to look at. Carpeting is a very common source of toxic exposure. Outgassing, often detected by the sense of smell from the new and even moderately old carpeting, less than 5 years old, can sometimes cause gradual neurological and immunological effects. They emit something called volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, in your home. Almost all carpet is made from synthetic fibers, and most of these fibers have been treated with synthetic chemicals that outgas into your home. Here's a list of some carpet ingredients: soil and stain repellents, PVCs, vinyl, urethane, anti-static sprays, artificial dyes, and antimicrobial agents and treatments. And that's just what's in the carpet. That doesn't include the carpet pad or the adhesives that are used, the glues that are used to glue the carpet down to the floor. Sleeping. So when electricity passes through a wire, it creates an electromagnetic field that exerts force on nearby objects, including animals and humans. Extremely low frequency fields are generated by household appliances, including electric blankets, water beds, and overhead power lines and transformers. At one time, it was believed that low-level magnetic fields were not harmful, but scientists now agree that ELF fields are indeed hazardous to human health. Electric blankets create a magnetic field that penetrates about 6 to 7 inches into the body. Studies have linked the use of electric blankets to miscarriages and leukemia and lymphomas. The exact mechanism by which exposure leads to cancer has not been established, but one potential mechanism may be due to the ELF's ability to alter the expression of certain genes, turning them on and off at inappropriate times, which may cause them to initiate cell proliferation. Electric clocks have a very high magnetic field that can be measured up to 3 feet away. If you're sleeping next to a bedside clock, you're sleeping in an electromagnetic field equivalent to sleeping under a power line. Studies have linked chronic high EMF fields around the head to brain tumors. This is also true of waterbeds and waterbed heaters. So what's the solution? Put on an extra blanket on the bed. Don't use a waterbed or specifically a waterbed heater. Move electric clocks at least 6 feet away from the bed. Cell phones. Dr. Keith Black, chairman of neurology at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, says that the type of radiation coming out of a cell phone is called non-ionizing. It is not like an X-ray, but more like a low-powered microwave oven. So, quote, what microwave radiation does, in most simplistic terms, is similar to what happens to food in microwaves, especially cooking the brain, Black said. Quote, so in addition to leading to development of cancer and tumors, there could be a whole host of other effects like cognitive memory function, since the memory temporal lobes are where we hold our cell phones, end quote. Results from the largest international study on cell phones and cancer was released in 2010. It showed participants in the study who used a cell phone for 10 years or more had double the rate of brain glioma, a type of tumor. What's the solution? Hold the phone away from your body. Carry it in a case, not in your pocket. Use a wired headpiece rather than a Bluetooth device. Air quality. Research has shown that the quality of the indoor air can be worse than that of the outdoor air. Many homes are built or remodeled more tightly without regard to the factors that assure fresh and healthy indoor air. Our homes today contain many furnishings, appliances, and products that can affect indoor air quality. You can't see or smell carbon monoxide, but at high levels it can kill a person in minutes. Carbon monoxide, or CO, is produced whenever any fuel such as gas, oil, kerosene, wood, or charcoal is burned. If appliances that burn fuel are maintained and used properly, the amount of CO produced is usually not hazardous. However, if appliances are not working properly or are used incorrectly, dangerous levels of CO can result. What's the solution? Ventilate your home daily by opening windows and letting the air circulate. Install a carbon monoxide monitor, particularly in your sleeping areas. Maintain your appliances and change your furnace filters regularly. Consider an air purifier. Moisture and humidity. Although a small amount of mold and mildew won't hurt most of us, it begins to become a big problem when the mold spores get out of hand. When quantity gets out of hand, or when individuals who are highly sensitive to toxic mold breathe it in, it can present a serious health hazard. Mold can trigger allergic reaction and asthma attacks in many. Complaints of flu-like symptoms, chronic fatigue syndrome, memory impairment, migraines, sick building syndrome, dizziness, and nosebleeds are common. These are mild symptoms. Many researchers claim that mold can attack several main body systems, including the brain, central nervous, and immune systems, and have been the direct cause of some deaths. Mold lives off any organic matter and loves a warm, humid environment. So this includes your leather jacket, a peach, old newspapers, bathroom walls, windowsills, ceilings, and wallpaper. Most often, mildew, which is in the form of mold or fungus, infests our living or workspaces when there's a high level of moisture, like a musty basement or a shower wall. It comes in through our walls, windows, doors, carpets, or even under the refrigerator. So what's the solution? Allow for daily circulation through your home. Repair any water leaks in bathrooms, kitchens, and the garage. Crack the window when cooking or showering, bathing to allow moisture to dry up. Install ventilation exhaust fans in the kitchen and bathrooms, and consider a dehumidifier. Clean clothes, another important area to consider. So dry cleaning, conventional dry cleaning fluids contain highly toxic chemicals called tetrachloroethylene, a carcinogen, a central nervous system toxicant, and a respiratory irritant. Naphthalene is also a suspected carcinogen and reproductive toxin. Toluene, which may cause brain damage to a developing fetus and is neurotoxic, and xylene, a neurotoxin. So what's the solution? If you must use conventional dry cleaning, remove plastic bags and hang the clothes outside or an area separate from living quarters to air out the clothing and to encourage the evaporation of solvents, or simply buying clothes that need to be dry cleaned. Laundry room must use laundry room. So most laundry detergents are derived from petrochemical ingredients. They contain bleaches, synthetics, whiteners, and chemical fragrances, even in the so-called fragrance-free brands. Some detergents contain ammonia, ethanol, naphthalene, and phenol. Dryer sheets and fabric softeners are designed to reduce static in synthetic fabrics. They serve no purpose with natural fabrics. Fabric softeners may contain quaternary ammonium compounds and imidazolidiol, both of which are known as formaldehyde releasers. For about 5% of people, these are extremely sensitive to them. They may cause a variety of asthma-like symptoms, including respiratory arrest. Exposure to formaldehyde can cause joint pain, depression, headaches, chronic fatigue, and a variety of other symptoms. In lab tests, formaldehyde has caused cancer and damaged DNA. Fabric softeners work by leaving a residue in the fabric that never really completely washes out. And by the way, formaldehyde is part of the component of vaccinations. So what's the solution? Use 7th generation Simply Clean brands of detergents. Use a dryer ball in the dryer for reducing static. When placed in the dryer among the wet laundry, the dryer balls help to lift and separate the clothes, reducing static and drying time, as well as leaving the clothes soft and fluffy. Technically, the dryer balls work by improving the circulation of heat and air through the wet items. So let's barbecue outside. It's the weekend. There's great weather. Let's have a family barbecue in the backyard. Clean air, sunshine, and cancer. Everybody loves a barbecue, but there are some things you should know about barbecues in your health. Heterocyclic amines, or HCAs, are chemicals found when muscle meats, including beef, pork, fish, and poultry, is cooked using high-temperature methods such as pan frying or grilling directly over an open flame. In laboratory experiments, HCAs have been found to be mutagenic and cancerogenic. That is, they cause changes in the DNA that increase the risk of cancer, especially in the colon. For example, in a study in the American Journal of Epidemiology, scientists found that men who ate barbecued meat had an 11% greater risk of developing prostate cancer. In a 2007 study at the University of South Carolina, researchers found that post-menopausal women who ate a lot of grilled, barbecued, or smoked red meat over the course of their lifetime were 47% more likely to develop breast cancer. What's the solution? Cook your meat at low temperatures and shorter times by pre-cooking them in the oven first and then finish cooking them on the grill. It has also been found that marinating the meat using vinegar, red wine, or lemon can reduce the formation of HCAs. Family pets. Who doesn't have one? Who hasn't had one in their lifetime? For nearly 25 years, research has shown that living with pets provides certain health benefits. Pets help lower blood pressure and lessen anxiety. They boost our immunity. They can even help you get dates. So the old thinking that if your family had a pet, the children were more likely to be allergenic to the pet is old thinking. If it came from an allergy-prone family, pets should be avoided. However, a growing number of studies have suggested that kids growing up in a home with furred animals, whether it's a pet, cat, or dog, or on a farm and exposed to large animals, will have less risk of allergies and asthma. So solution, if you have young children, get a pet. It will strengthen and enhance their immune system. If you are an adult-only home, pets help lower blood pressure, lessen anxiety and stress, and boost your immunity. Pest control. In a California study in 2002, it was found that a child living in a home using a professional pest control service is 2 times more likely to develop leukemia than a child raised in a home without pesticide services. Nobody likes ants at the family barbecue, or spiders in their shower, cockroaches in their cupboards, or fleas in their backyard, fleas in their yard. But there's a price for having pest control service in the home. So what's the solution? Learn how to control pests such as ants, spiders, and termites. There are many eco-friendly and animal-friendly safe formulas being introduced in the market now. So we've got the medicine or the health cabinet. The leading cause of accidental poisonings amongst North American children can be found in the family medicine cabinet, a new government report shows. In fact, more than 2/3 of emergency department visits are due to poisoning from the prescription and over-the-counter medications. That's more than double the rate of childhood poisonings caused by household cleaning products, plants, and the like. Instead of what we have in our medicine cabinet contributing to our children's health problems and potential poisonings, why not convert your medicine cabinet to a health cabinet? And if you're interested in doing that, we can talk about the types of products that one should have to have available just in case things happen. But these are some of the things that one might think of. Digestive aids like enzymes, tea tree oil for cut scrapes and fungus, immune system nutrients, natural antivirals for colds and flus, natural antibiotics like oil of oregano and things like that. So now that we've discussed and shown you how the chemical and physical stresses in your home affect your body and especially your nervous system, and being a chiropractor and health professional that knows how our lifestyle affects our nervous system and consequently our health, I would be doing my community and the world in general an injustice by not encouraging people to make sure their nervous system is performing to its optimum potential. So please feel free to call the office or use the form that's on this particular module to ask questions about what it might mean to have a chiropractic lifestyle assessment. We can do a complete nervous system scan and x-rays at a very affordable cost. And so if you call the office and you mention this particular program, we will give you a benefit of having all of this done for 50% of what it would typically cost, which is only $41. It typically costs $82. So, as we complete this, as we're talking close to the end, you need to understand and know that part of what my passion in life is to see as many people survive and not succumb to the illnesses and the diseases that so easily affect us. Let's take a moment and do a quick review of what we've covered tonight. Water, kitchen chemicals, pots and pans, personal care products, getting a CO monitor, carpeting, electromagnetic frequencies in the house, the consequences of cell phones, air quality, laundry, dry cleaning, what the barbecue can do to our health and wellness, pets, pest control, and your health cabinet. I know you love families, and I know that I gave you a lot to consider tonight, but don't get overwhelmed. Make 1 or 2 changes at a time and move on. Remember that you are doing these things for you and for those that you love. Remember what Mother Teresa once said, quote, "Love begins at home, and it is not how much we do, but how much we love that we put into action." So go home, make some healthy changes, a little at a time, and put plenty of life into it. It's been an honor to be able to present this information to you. Again, if there's any questions or concerns or thoughts that you wish to discuss with me, there's a form to email those questions to me, and we will get back to you as quickly as we can. Bless you for participating and staying with me on this very long presentation, but it has been worth it as we begin to try and educate you on what you need to do to help you and your family live long and live well. Bless you and take care. We'll see you next time.